Well, hi everybody. I'm Melissa C. I'm a recovered compulsive overeater. I'm in New York and really happy to be here tonight to be able to like really excited by the number of newcomers. Like welcome, 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 those that are new to this meeting. And I wasn't planning on doing this at all, but usually when there are new people, I often do like to share some of my photos, but I'm going to do like a quick buzz through them. So I'm going to just take a second and I'm going to share my screen so that you're able to see my photos. And it's a shorter one. It's like one of the shorter ones that I have. I don't have any fellows in it. So if you're looking, like, I usually have ones that have like all my good, friends and fellows in here, but this is just family, basic family ones for the most part. And the reason I like to show it is it's a visual demonstration of what it means to have an experience with the miraculous. And people who might not know me might not know that I come from, large numbers, and I've suffered terribly through this disease, and I have been recovered. God did for me that what I could not do for myself. So this is like, these are some early pictures of what it was like for me in this disease. And I'll kind of buzz through them. I like this. These are like side by sides. Same me. That's me. And my daughter when she was little. And this was her a couple years ago, and me, you know. Um, and that's just, to really show what God did for me. These are family photos, you know. The one where I'm in the black, I had actually been really dieting like crazy there. I had a boot. I actually had like a boot on my foot because I had broken my foot trying to run off a binge that I had done. And I was on a treadmill and I broke my foot. Um, you don't see it in the picture, but I remember it. And I knew what kind of pain I was in. And still, I was morbidly obese, right? To like a picture a few years ago. Um, this is that same boy, that same little boy. In this picture, I could barely hold him because the size of my body, I couldn't put my arms around him. And this was him this past summer when he was graduating. It was him and going to his prom. And, you know, just to show like, and I could certainly put my arms around him if he lets me, I have to do this now. But yeah, but my arms reach around him. This is me and my sister and my sister-in-law's drink in my hand. I know there was food in my pocket. I know that I spent most of this event mad, fake smile on my face, drinking and eating in the bathroom, eating candy, eating crap in the bathroom. To more, somewhat more recent, my mom is no longer with us, but um, this was me and my mom in the gray. Although I was still overweight, I still had a way to go. You could see the light is on in my face. I had recovered here. My body was just in the process of 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 transforming. My body was not yet there. It was healing. But I could see because I see it in my face. I know I felt that day. I felt alive and I felt in love with my family. Like I just felt connected. And this was, a few years ago, at one of my niece's weddings, my siblings and I, my mom, a couple of my siblings and I. And this is the same kid, me and the same boy, you know, throughout the years. This is when he was a baby. I think that sweater was about the only thing that fit me at that time. I had recovered at this point, at his middle school, some sort of something from middle school. And then, when he was 18, there's me and him. And this is my husband and myself, you know. And I love this because in the restaurant picture, there I am, I'm drinking and I'm eating. We're in a restaurant. That's what I did all the time because food was my master and it told me what I like to do. And to now, food is not my master and it does not tell me what I like to do. I know very clearly what I like to do. I found out when I recovered, I got set free and I got to find out. I've always loved music festivals. I've always loved dancing and being outdoors and listening to music. My husband and I, we love the Grateful Dead and all different like dead cover bands, and we go. Today I'm a free woman. I get to go to all those places. Um, that's God did for me that which I could not do for myself. And so I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. I just wanted to, give people a little taste of what it looks like to have a miracle. And that, this is not unique to me, by the way. I am blessed to have a huge fellowship, a lot of friends and sponsees in this program. And oftentimes, when they're going to speak, because I participate in other meetings, I like to host other meetings, or I'm a speaker getter at other meetings, and I have helped people show their recovery pictures. And so I have on my desktop, when I go to open mine, I've got a number of you people. When you've sent it to me, it's still there. And I know, like, this is not unique to me. This is a miracle. It's not magic, right? And so it's not the flash of the wand. There are actions we took to allow this kind of transformation to occur. I cooperated. That's what I say. I didn't do it, but I cooperated with the process. So tonight, hopefully, I whet your appetite a little bit. The reason I like to show the pictures is I find people's cameras tend to come on afterwards and they lean in. And please, no disrespect, if you're in a position where you cannot put your camera on, but you're here, please stay. Don't leave. But if you have the possibility, if you're thinking, oh, I don't really want to show what I look like, come on, people, I have a big cut on my lip today. I'm still on the screen. And I think we're a fellowship. It's so much nicer to sit and see one another, than if we were at a meeting, right? In a face-to-face meeting, you would not be in the hall with your ear pressed against the door, right? Listening. So if you're able to come on in, come on in, sit down, put your camera on. Let me see you. Let's be here together. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to jump into the chapter. Acceptance was the answer. So acceptance is a willingness to embrace reality as it is, even if you don't like it. It's to agree to receive, whether willingly or reluctantly. That's accepting, if you accept something. And acceptance is deciding not to argue with reality, right? You accept it. It's like, okay, I might not like it, but it is what it is, right? When people say that statement, it is what it is, that's acceptance, right? Acceptance is the action of consenting to receive or undertake something that's offered. So if I hand you something and you're like, yeah, okay, I'll take it, that's accepting it. You've accepted it, right? And for us, that's the program of recovery. We put our hands out and we say, okay, I'll accept it, right? Page 407, he came by mistake, right? If there ever was, and I'm right in the chapter in the story, acceptance was the answer. If there ever was anyone who came to AA by mistake, it was I. Not only did I not think that being an alcoholic was a good idea, I didn't even feel that I had all that much of a drinking problem. Of course, I had problems, all sorts of problems. If you had my problems, you drink too, was my feeling. My major problems was marital. If you had my wife, you drink too. So, okay, that's an example of not acceptance. That is like, nope, no acceptance, and certainly not taking any responsibility. Acceptance is not found this way for sure. If you blame others for your problems and for your eating, you will not achieve sobriety, right? Because there'll always be a new person to pin the blame on. And you can't be happy, right? Others are never to blame for my eating, for our eating. And I think that's always crucially important. Nobody, unless they pried my mouth open and shoved it down my throat. I am always the one who put my hand in the bag and put it in my mouth, right? That is acceptance. Page 408. I had begun to drink. Now he's going to talk about his history. I began to drink in the early years of pharmacy school in order to get to sleep. After going to school all day, working in the family drugstore all evening, and then studying until 1 or 2 in the morning, I would not be able to sleep soundly with everything I had been studying going around in my head. I'd be half asleep and half awake, and in the morning, I would be both tired and stupid. And then I found the solution. At the end of study time, I would drink 2 beers, jump in bed, sleep real fast, and wake up smart. I laugh when I read that. Like, I never knew that 2 beers is going to cause you to wake up smart, but I get it. I kind of get it. He doesn't really have a problem yet. In fact, he has a solution to his problem. For many people, food is a very effective solution. You know, it can take the edge off. It can smooth things out. It can soothe the hurts. It can enhance celebration. It can do all those things, except not for us, right? It can do that for normal people, but not for someone who then is going to experience the punitive effect of the allergy of the body, right? So I can't use it to take the edge off. And we also are going to start seeing the progression and how it goes from an effective strategy for him to a necessity. And on page 109, it says this: my drinking kept increasing, but I thought it was because my responsibilities were increasing. If you had my responsibilities, if you needed the sleep like I do, you'd drink too. And, when I read his story, I mean, if you spend time and you read it in depth, his story is frightening. The drug use, the drinking, the complete disregard for human lives, right? He's responsible for human lives. He was a doctor after all. And I could spend a lot of time on that. And yet, for the purposes of this, I really want to focus more on the topic of acceptance, right? That's a whole other story. Disregard for human life, right? Where this disease takes us. Page 411 says this: and then I finally decided to give it up. Okay, he's going to give it up. But to do so, I had to get all the stuff out of the house and out of my possession. In the end, I had to do the same with alcohol. So he's talking about getting rid of the pills. He had to get everything out of his house, and then he had to do the same thing with the alcohol. I wasn't able to quit chemicals as long as they were in the house. If they were around, I always found a need for them, especially the pills. And so he is beginning to have some acceptance here. He's accepting the idea that he can't have the stuff around. And I think that's a good suggestion, right? I think for many people, you might need to get the stuff out of your house, not forever, but so that you can quit. I think that's having a level of acceptance. Like, yep, it's as bad as it is, and I got to get it out of my house, right? And I always took it. It says here, I always took it because I had the symptom that only that pill would relieve. Therefore, every pill was medically indicated at the time it was taken. For me, pills don't produce the desire to swallow a pill. They produce the symptoms that require that the pill be taken for relief. And I've underlined this, and I can completely relate to that statement. In terms of the food, what did eating do? Eating produced a specific type for me of self hatred and depression and pain that called me to eat more. right? I would eat and I would want to die. And so, what do I do when I feel like dying? Well, I eat. You know, nothing so much as made me want to eat as the self hatred I felt after I binged, after I overate, after none of my clothes fit me. Nothing soothed the pain of morbid obesity as much as eating Ben and Jerry's did. You know, the pain of how fat I was, the pain of what I was doing to myself, the physical pain that I would feel when I couldn't digest my food actually made me want other types of food, right? So I would eat some, I mean, here's like real experience, right? I would eat something, let's say it was like chips or fries or something like that. And I would eat so much of it that I would get horrendous reflux, like burning the back of my throat. And then, well, then what would possibly make my burning throat feel better? But a milkshake. I mean, that's what I did. And then I would have things like that, sweet and creamy, so much so that I felt nauseated by it and I needed something savory, something salty. And I was forever, each one of those things produced the symptom that made me want more food. That's crazy. So today it says here, I find I can't work my AA program while taking pills, nor may I even have them around for dire emergencies only. I can't say, Thy will be done, and take a pill. I can't say I'm powerless over alcohol, but solid alcohol is okay. I can't say God could restore me to sanity, but until He does, I'll control myself with pills. Giving up alcohol alone was not enough for me. I've had to give up all mood and mind affecting chemicals in order to stay sober and comfortable. And for me, what that calls to my mind was I had to have the same, for me, the same acceptance that I can't use fake sugar to help me not eat the real deal. And that's what I found out. A look-alike food does the same thing to me as the real deal, right? So diet, I keep using the ice cream, but sugar-free frozen yogurt did the same thing as ice cream did. I could not have one thinking that I'll have that and lean on that. They all had to go. And that's sort of what it talks about here. That's acceptance. Here's some more acceptance. Yes, acceptance. It says acceptance of God's will. Thy will be done, but also acceptance that I can't seek his will while intoxicated or while eating. Doesn't work like that. An acceptance of my own personal limitations and sensitivities. You may have different ones than me, right? But you have to accept the ones that you do have. And I have found that this is to be the case with me and my abstinence. I actually can't have alcohol and stay abstinent. Like specifically alcohol, I can't have that either and stay abstinent. I take a drink, I always get drunk, even if I have a little bit. As soon as I drank, I got drunk, I ate. One went right into the other. And I've met many compulsive overeaters who seem to have that same experience. They drink and they eat. Goes hand in hand. Page 413, in the hospital, I hung on to the idea that I've had most of my life, that if I could just control the external environment, the internal environment would then become comfortable. And this is a common misconception. And I certainly believed that if things were different, then I'd be different. And I've come to see that it's the exact other way around. If I am different, then things can become different, right? Not things are different, then I'm different. It goes the other way. Page 414, and life keeps getting simpler and easier as we try to reverse my old idea by taking care of the internal environment via the 12 steps and letting the external environment take care of itself. So if I'm having a struggle, I need to recognize that I'm the one with the problem. The problem is internal and not external. I can use the steps to remedy my internal environment, and the external environment may not change, but what is guaranteed to change is my perception of the problem. That's what changes. As I change, what happens for me is the thing that I thought was the biggest problem in the world, well, it either changes because I'm not adding to the mix of it, or I actually find it doesn't really bother me after all, right? As I change, my external changes. Page 415 says if he could get me to go to enough meetings while in the hospital, I would continue to go after he let me out. So, for no better reason than to fool him, I asked Frank to take me to a meeting every night. And right from the start, I felt that they weren't doing anything for me, but they sure were helping Max. So he's talking about his wife. We sat in the back and talked only to each other. And these are excellent reminders that we need to see the potential in the fellows who sit there unconvinced and seemingly disinterested. We don't have to be concerned about someone's motives in attending our meetings. It's not really my bother. Perhaps they're there to get someone off their back, or even to keep someone company. We can trust God will help those fellows identify in and recover if that be his will. So, and I think that's why we say, like, anyone's included, right? Everybody's welcome here. And it was precisely a year before I spoke at an AA meeting, he says. Although we enjoyed the laughter in the early days, I heard a lot of things that I thought were stupid. And when a big, healthy looking young fellow stood up there and said, I'm a success today if I don't drink today, I thought, man, I've got 1,000 things to do today before I can brag about not taking a drink, for God's sake. Of course, I was still drinking at the time. Today, there is absolutely nothing in the world more important to me than my keeping this alcoholic sober. Not taking a drink is by far the most important thing I do each day. And while I know the most important thing today is my relationship with God, my abstinence is my invitation for his entry into my life. That's where I make space for God. So as long as I'm abstinent, I have a chance. I have a shot. And when days are hard, I can remind myself that if I remained abstinent despite the difficulties, then it was a successful day, right? If everything else was crap that day, but I refrained from the extra bite, then I'll call that day a success. It wasn't a crap after all. And I know that giving up, I knew giving up one drink for one day wouldn't really do any good. Finally, after 7 months, I decided to try it. So it took him 7 months to even try. Think about that. He's going to meetings with his wife, showing up, not even making an attempt for 7 months. I emphasize this, I think, to offer hope. If you're sitting there and you have never even tried yet, there's hope for you too. I'm amazed, says here, at how many of my problems, most of which had nothing to do with drinking, I believed have become manageable or have simply disappeared since I quit drinking. And this is one of the keys to acceptance and trusting God. If I trust God and work the steps, my problems become manageable, things I can live with and work around, or they actually disappear. they go away or really appear like non issues. Page 416, by early July, I had tapered off alcohol completely, and I got off all pills in the ensuing months. And I think this is interesting because sobriety and abstinence does not happen automatically for all people. And we need to make sure that the ones who are tapering off are not sent away because they're not entirely abstinent or entirely surrendered. They're still welcomed, right? Even if it's a tapering off. And I think, I'm remembering a sponsee, I know her and love her well, who I started with, who in the beginning I said, can you just be honest about what you're going to eat today? Can we just start from there? Just if you're like, let's just start with honesty, you know? And that was an entry point for that person, right? That was the way that it began. When the compulsion to drink left, it says, it was relatively easy to stay off alcohol, but for some time, it was difficult from taking a pill when I had an appropriate symptom, such as a cough, pain, anxiety, insomnia, a muscle spasm, or an upset stomach. It has gotten progressively easier. Today, I feel I have used up my right to chemical peace of mind. And this is acceptance. When I read that, that is acceptance. For me, I've accepted my way of eating. I have used up my right to eat spontaneously and without a plan. That's what I think of when I read that. I've surrendered that right. And it helped me, it says, a great deal to become convinced that alcoholism was a disease, not a moral issue, that I had been drinking as a result of a compulsion, even though I had not been aware of the compulsion at the time, and that sobriety was not a matter of willpower. So my abstinence that I have today is not due to strong willpower. I am abstinent today because God has removed the obsession and the desire. And the people of AA had something that looked much better than what I had. But I was afraid to let go of what I had in order to try something new. There was a certain sense of security in the familiar. So here, acceptance of my discomfort and of feeling insecure. As we embark on this new way of life, it is awkward and radically different from our old lives. And we get comfortable living in discomfort, right? So I need to have acceptance that I'm not going to feel comfy and cozy at all times. That's part of my acceptance. And at last, acceptance proved to be the key to my drinking problem. After I had been around AA for 7 months, tapering off alcohol and pills, not finding the program working very well, I was finally able to say, okay, God, it is true that I, of all people, strange as it may seem, and even though I didn't give my permission, really, really am an alcoholic of sorts. And it's all right with me. Now, what am I going to do about it? When I stopped living in the problem and began living in the answer, the problem went away. From that moment on, I have not had a single compulsion to drink. So he's not saying to God to make his alcoholism go away, but he is living in acceptance and asking God, what should he do about it? And I think a big part of step one isn't just admitting we have a problem, but accepting it entirely and all its implications. The concept, of being a distinct entity is true acceptance of this disease. And I say, like, I'm a distinct entity. I'm different from other people, and I will never be, right, like a normal person. When we take this kind of position and we stop trying to solve the problem on our own, but instead ask God to direct us, what happens is the compulsion to drink or eat can be removed. You need to ask for help before it can be removed. Page 417. Here we go. This is the part that everyone knows, right? And acceptance is the answer to all my problems today. When I am disturbed, it is because I find some person, place, thing, or situation, some fact of my life unacceptable to me. And I can find no serenity until I accept that person, place, thing, or situation as being exactly the way it is supposed to be at this moment. Nothing, absolutely nothing happens in God's world by mistake. Until I could accept my alcoholism, I could not stay sober. Unless I accept life completely on life's terms, I cannot be happy. I need to concentrate not so much on what needs to be changed in the world as on what needs to be changed in me and in my attitudes. And this is such a beautiful way of looking at my struggles with other people and with situations. To accept things are exactly as they are meant to be in this very moment. God is perfect and does not make mistakes, right? Even if it looks like it, right? Even if it looks like, oh, no, 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 this surely can't be the plan, right? Even then. So, what do? We ask for direction on what needs to be changed in ourselves and in our attitudes. And so I have this example here that I've written down, and it's like an old one, but I guess it was really big at the time. For me, it was my daughter and her college education, or actually in her not getting the college education, right? I thought that I could never be happy about it. And yet God had a plan, right? His plan, it was so much better. You know, my daughter went to the college that I basically like told her to go to. I was like, you have to go there. It's perfect for you. You got to go there. Just go, just go, just go, just go. She didn't want to go. She had other plans, and I really bullied this girl into going. She went, and then COVID happened, and she was back home. All the things that I wanted for her to go to college for, I wanted her to get away from a particular boyfriend. Didn't happen in college. She actually solidified that relationship for a while, and then met another person that I hated even more. I mean, it was like, I had all these plans for her, and then it all. I mean, the crazy thing is, she came home from school. She wound up working, and where she worked, she met the caregiver, the woman that wound up as one of my mother's caregivers as my mother was declining. She met this person there. And this woman at the time became a big part of our family, and she helped my mother until she really couldn't anymore. My daughter also met her wife, her future wife, working in this place. And so and in the meantime, she's gone on to do other things. At times, she's gone back to school. She was able to get a grant. She's found a career that she loves that gives her meaning and purpose. And it was I had to accept it. It did not look the way I wanted. And I would get all worked up because I'm an educator. How could I possibly tell my family members, my siblings, that my daughter isn't in college? That's unheard of, unheard of in our family. It was all my ego. It was all my ego. I had to accept it. It's not her life. It's not my life. You know, AA and acceptance has taught me that there is a bit of good in the worst of us and a bit of bad in the best of us, that we are all children of God and we each have a right to be here. When I complain about me or about you, I am complaining about God's handiwork. I am saying that I know better than God. So I can increase my acceptance when I look intentionally to find the good in others and to refrain from complaining. When I am complaining, then I am critiquing God's work. And I think, really, talk about arrogance. I mean, right? I did not come here because, I hear this all. I didn't come here on a winning streak. What makes me think that I have a right to look at anyone else's life and the way that they're doing it and think that I know best? Page 418. For years, I was sure that the worst thing that could happen to a nice guy like me would be that I would turn out to be an alcoholic. Today, I find it is the best thing that has ever happened to me. And this proves I don't know what's good for me. And if I don't know what's good for me, then I don't know what's good or bad for you or for anyone. I am better off if I don't give advice, don't figure I know what's best, and just accept life on life's terms as it is today, especially my own life as it actually is. Acceptance has been the answer to my marital problems. I'm just going to read this part because it's so good. Um, it's as though AA had given me a new pair of glasses. It was as if I had, rather than a Midas touch, which turned everything to gold, a magnifying mind that magnified whatever it focused on. And I think if you want things to improve, focus on the positive. A practice that I have incorporated is a gratitude practice. I mean, this is not new to me. It's been an OA for years and years. Everybody talks about gratitude lists. And I used to roll my eyes at it. I used to think it was like some of that fluffy, hokey BS crap, not real, right? Not the real stuff. But then I started really practicing gratitude as a serious practice. And I don't just do, I'm grateful for my husband. I'm grateful for my kids. I'm grateful for, I try to get extremely specific, right? Because the more I focus on the good, the more the good grows. And my whole life, I lived my life really being able to see the flaws in everybody like they were great big neon signs, right? And I want to do the same thing with positives in people. The more I focus my mind on people's defects, the more they grow and multiply. Every defect we point out to others become greater and greater. I've been told that when you criticize, when you point out other people's defects, and especially when you do it in this, I'm just giving you advice, that's criticism. Unsolicited advice is criticism, and nobody enjoys being criticized, right? At all. So it says, page 419, and then one day in AA, I was told that I had the lenses in my glasses backwards. The courage to change in the Serenity Prayer meant that I should change, not that I should change my marriage, but rather I should change myself and learn to accept my spouse as she was. AA has given me a new pair of glasses. I can again focus on my wife's good qualities and watch them grow and grow. And I can do the same with an AA meeting. The more I focus my mind on its defects, the late start, the long drunkalogs, the cigarette smoke, the worse the meeting becomes. But when I try to see what I can add to the meeting rather than what I can get out of it, and when I focus my mind on what's good about it rather than what's wrong with it, the meeting keeps getting better and better. And so I just have to shut off my blower because the thing is a little fused. So when there's a meeting that bothers you, what are you supposed to do about it? Are you supposed to send your friends text that you can't stand the person who's speaking, right? Are you supposed to criticize the format? Why do they blah, blah, blah? Why is this person speaking again? They spoke last time, right? No. right? If there is something that I don't like in something, then my job is to contribute more and take on some responsibilities in improving it, not with a criticism, not with a critical air about me, but a genuine willingness to be of service. You know, when I look to see the good in my students, in my children, in my husband, in my home, those things get better. They start looking better. When I've had students that I've struggled with, at one time I used to ask God, please just give me patience. And my loving sponsor said to me, if you keep getting asking for patience, you're going to keep getting opportunities to practice patience. How about you pray for love? How about you pray? And so I started asking God to help me see these children as adorable. Show me how cute they are. And when I come with that intention, that's how they begin to appear to me, right? When I focus on what's good today, I have a good day. And when I focus on what's bad, I have a bad day. When I focus on a problem, the problem increases. When I focus on the answer increases. And this is why we have gratitude practice. Specific, detailed things that we're grateful for helps us to have good days. My reality is my perception. Reality is only as you perceive it. If I think it's wonderful, right? The hardest place to work this program, it says, has been in my own home with my own children and finally with Max. It seems I should have learned to love my wife and my family first, the newcomer to AA last, but it was the other way around. And so here's excellent directions, the order of who we are meant to love. It is definitely easier sometimes to love the stranger, or at least to offer them some slack, but we should do it the other way around, right? Page 420, perhaps this is the best thing of all for me, is to remember that my serenity is inversely proportional to my expectations. The higher my expectations, the lower is my serenity. I can watch my serenity level rise when I discard my expectations, but then my rights try to move in. And they too can force my serenity level down. I have to discard my rights as well as my expectations by asking myself, how important is it really? How important is it compared to my serenity, my emotional sobriety? And so I don't have a right to have my kids graduate college. I don't, right? And it's funny, I guess my daughter must have really been on my mind. Um, I didn't have a right to make my daughter a big wedding. I didn't even have a right to make her a small one. She didn't want one. And I could linger on the unfairness of it, right? I have a right to walk her down the aisle. I have a right to that first dance. I have a right to bridal showers. No, I don't. No, I don't. I have to discard it with the gratitude to ask myself, is it worth my peace of mind? If if I have to accept people exactly as they are, she didn't want those things. If they didn't matter to her, they made her uncomfortable, then I don't have a right to them. So acceptance is the key to my relationship with God today. I never just sit and do nothing while waiting for him to tell me what to do. Rather, I do whatever's in front of me to be done, and I leave the results up to him. However it turns out, that's God's will for me. And this is the precise directions for how to practice acceptance. Okay, it's like perfect. Ask God for direction. Do what we think he would want us to do, and then leave the results up to him. This is so helpful, right? This is helpful in all areas of my life. It's helpful with my students who struggle, and with a school district that doesn't seem to follow my plans. So I do what I think God wants me to do, and I leave the results up to Him. I do it with my family. I try to practice it with sponsees, right? I do what I think God wants me to do, and then He's in charge of the results. I am not in the results business. I think about my third step when I surrendered my will and my life over to the care of God, and I said, okay, you're the principal and I'm the agent, meaning I'll do what I think you want me to do, and you're in charge of how it comes out. I work for you now. So I have to keep my magic magnifying mind on my acceptance and off my expectations, for my serenity is directly proportionate to my level of acceptance. When I remember this, I can see I've never had it so good. Thank God for AA. And I think, for me, when I keep my magic magnifying mind on my acceptance and off of my expectations, I too have serenity, I have purpose, and I have focus. And when I showed you those pictures in the beginning, I want to tell you back then, I had no serenity. That's what it looks like when you walk around with no serenity, and today I'm free because I've released everybody from the burden of having to live their lives according to my great plan. That's true acceptance. And with that, I will end.